gonna do a few different poses this week. I don't think I ever do it properly to show like because I've got such a lordotic back. I have to like literally go in half. Hey guys, so it is now 3 weeks into my reverse diet, start of week 4. We had Easter this weekend, so that was fun. So I'm kind of excited to go over what I actually ate and kind of discuss how
I feel like you were more excited to eat it than you are to discuss what you actually ate.
Yeah, I'm really regretting the weekend, to be honest. But we had fun and that's life. So today we will discuss kind of what happens when you exceed your calorie targets in a reverse diet. How detrimental is it? Is it worse or better than perhaps when you're following a fat loss diet? So we'll get stuck into that. And then what the plan is for this current week, so week 4 of my reverse diet. To summarize last week's targets, I was aiming for 160 protein, 165 carbohydrate, and 49 fat. So overall my calories are sitting at around 1741, okay? This board just shows you what my actual intakes were from Tuesday through to Monday. And it's pretty ugly, just gonna be honest. We had Easter on the weekend. We also had like a weekday where we were having a couple.
Can you pick out which day Easter was?
Yeah, I really wouldn't be the 2700 calorie day. No, definitely not. So from around, I think it was Thursday, we had to go out and get like Easter gifts. We're buying the kids chocolate bunnies and I was putting together like Easter baskets. So from Thursday on, I was like starting to roll calories into the next day, into the next day, into the next day. So
we were only over by 36 this day.
Which day? You're talking about on Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what happened?
Your fats are high.
What I typically do, guys, is if it is not a crazy amount that I've gone over by, I'll log it for the next day because I don't like seeing numbers not align with my targets. So I put like
OCD keeps talking me.
So I actually took some calories. It was probably fats and carbohydrates from Easter eggs, to be honest with you. I would have logged them in Friday. I would have logged a couple in Saturday and Sunday, so that overall, I'm not, if I had to put it all into one day, for example, I would have ended up having to do a full day of fasting, and that isn't really a realistic strategy. So I kind of split it over into the next couple of days so that when I'm getting up on like Saturday or Sunday, my targets aren't super crazy. It's just maybe 5 or 6 grams less of what I should actually be aiming for. So that's typically how I do things. But obviously the main goal would be to try and hit your targets perfectly every day. But yeah, when you live in the real world, that's not always possible. So yeah, you can see what my averages came in at, and I'm a little bit disappointed, and it reflects my weight this week. But before I tell you, my actual protein intakes came in at 139. My actual carbohydrate average came in at 136. So a little ways under, and my fat intake was actually quite a bit higher. Now, usually I interchange these two depending on what my food choices are. Now, we know that the literature says as long as your calories and your protein are equated, it doesn't really matter which way you go with your...
How did you log your alcohol on Sunday?
How do I log my alcohol?
What did you count it as, carbohydrate or fat?
I pull it from both.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Equally?
Yeah, I usually do a 50-50, or if I'm already getting really close to like if I'm really close to my fat targets and I've still got a heap of carbohydrates left, I will log alcohol as the one that is lower, if that makes sense. If you guys aren't familiar with how to log or track alcohol, I'll put a link up on the screen for you so you can go and see some like practical examples of how to track beer, spirits, mixed drinks, and those kind of things. But yeah.
Spirits are hard liquor for people in the USA.
So overall, really surprisingly, and I don't know how accurate I was tracking on this Sunday because I feel like I probably hit 3,000. I don't think that I recorded everything that I possibly ate. So even though my average has come in pretty good, when I add these all up, I'm only just over, like we're talking 40 calories, too high. I think that based on my weight gain this week.
Is your average weight gain up?
I haven't done my average this week.
You need to do your average.
All right, I'll do my average. Okay, this is how I'm going to do my average, guys. I'm going to show you.
Because I'm a coach and you're a coach.
Yeah, I know. Averages are better. Okay, so for an average, I'm going to enter in what I know my weights were for 7 days. And then I'm going to take the average. So I know Tuesday when we started, I was 66.6. The next day, I would have been 66.7. Then I was back to 66.5. Then I was at 66.6. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 66.7. Sunday morning, 66.7. Now Monday, I was 68. So that was yesterday. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good, that's 7 days. So what I'm going to do is take the average. Average. Gonna grab those. And get rid of all those.
So your average actually is not that different.
My average is actually 67.
Well, 67.2. I would go to the 0.2 because
okay, because I'm usually doing that. Okay. Well, it's actually 66.8.
66.8.
Yeah, if I roll it.
So you really, and your average the previous week was 66.6. So you really didn't gain that much. If you look at your time course of weight, it was exactly steady.
Yeah.
Until Sunday.
Well,
so you're not going to like what I have to say. I think you should still increase this week.
I reckon my weight's already come back down this morning. I got on the scales, I was 67.2. So let's put in another.
The reason I'm saying this is because she ate way more calories than she should have, and her weight's already coming back down. It's a pretty good indication that she's still at maintenance and doing fine.
Yeah,
and do you think this was, because if I look at this, even though you take out the one day here, you were still over on your fats pretty much every day. Do you find that fats are being limiting for you right now?
They're not normally. It's only because we had chocolates in the house. Normally, I find it really easy to keep.
She doesn't really have an off switch for stuff.
Yeah, I normally don't have any issues hitting my fat targets. I typically, my dietary habits are always low, like lean cuts of meat. Like I don't really cook with oils, to be honest. So like I don't have an issue. It's just fats from chocolates that have stuffed me up this week. But what's your recommendation?
I would probably be a touch more conservative than usual, just because I know that you want to have absolutely minimal fat gain.
Yeah. So
probably what I would recommend is I would add like 5 grams of carbohydrate and 2 grams of fat. So you're taking a 20 calorie smaller jump than usual, but you're still having a jump. And then if things even out next week, I'd probably be a little more aggressive.
Well, this is a very small increase, so like 1714 to 1751. Yeah, that's a tiny increase this week, but I think that is sensible. And we don't have anything planned this week. We're not like there's no Easter. We don't have any chocolates in the house.
First Friday on.
Yeah, but I can plan for that. That's not like something where there's all this food.
How'd that planning go for you?
I didn't plan that.
Hey, you're the one. So we organized a picnic on the beach.
Yeah, I got a little carried away with the cheese.
A little bit carried away, yeah.
Just for the record, I think I would have had like a kilo of cheese on Sunday and a bottle of wine.
You probably scored really well.
It makes sense because like when you look at my targets, and you see here, like back on this board, like this day, how is it that all my macros are under, yet I'm close to my calorie targets? Well, that's because there's alcohol here, which I don't have a column for alcohol. It was just tracked.
Oh, so, I thought you put it into here.
No. It's not at all.
Okay.
There's no, but when I'm actually doing it on the program, that's how I'm
doing it. Yeah, makes sense. I think
there's a lot of it doesn't make any sense. Like if you look at these two, look at yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I've only hit 94 carbs and my fats is a little high, but yeah, there's alcohol being rolled into some of these. So
keep in mind, like with that small increase, a lot of people would say that's pointless.
No, it's
you
not.
can't actually just add 5 grams of carbohydrate because the inherent error in food labels is more than 5 grams, which is true. But if you think about, if you did that every week for 10 weeks,
consistently,
I always think about macros as being like a cloud. Okay, so yes, you have a point that you want to be at, and then there's an error around that. But if you think about it as a bracket, as you move up, that bracket is moving up. So even if you're on the low or high side, you're going to be higher on the low and high side than you were before. And if you did, this is a 38 calorie increase. If you did that every week for 10 weeks, you would be up 380 calories. She would actually be over 2,000 calories if she did that every single week for 10 weeks. So while, yes, people say, well, how do I add 5 grams of carbs? Yeah. Like, what am I supposed to do? Have like a little teaspoon of rice or something? No, you increase your portion sizes of a carbohydrate containing meal.
That's a good thing with flexible dieting. Like, your foods aren't really the same every week. So, yeah, it might only be a 5 gram increase of carbohydrates, but like my food choices are not going to be the same as what they were last week. So, yeah, I kind of, as I'm going and choosing foods, I'm logging it, and your goal is that number.
On the plus side, your carbohydrates are now higher than your protein, which is...
Yeah.
It's been a while since
I've seen a higher carb number than my protein.
Q-stained, it's been a while.
Yee-hoo! Awesome. So yeah, that's what we're going to do this week. So my new targets are 160 protein, that hasn't changed. 170, so we're going up 5 carbs, and we're going up 2 fats to 51, which isn't a huge jump. But again, I usually allow for like a plus or minus 5 gram like error range. So if I can stay within that, I'll be very happy, and I think we'll be able to see progress.
Your weights that you're listing here, are those averages or are those?
This was these are the averages.
So you're going to change that?
Yeah, I will change that.
Okay.
That's not correct. Yeah, so my average this week is 66.8, right?
Is it 66.8 or 66.8?
Well, I've just added today's weight in, so we're not going to count that. Average. Yeah, so if we actually just go with the 7 days, my average weight is 66.8. Let's just bold that. Yeah.
Cool.
So you can see my weight starting at the reverse was 66.5, and then yeah, if we take the average for the week, I'm still only up to 66.8. So
but you're up almost 300 calories.
Yeah, 300 calorie increase. We finished at 1459, now up to 1751. You know, it's some good numbers here. If we look at my carbohydrates, 135 up to 170. That's an extra meal. That's really nice, actually.
And science, if you're just doing math, you're not accounting for adaptive thermogenesis, you would say that, all right, 300 calorie increase, we should see a little bit more weight gain than 0.2, which I don't even think that 0.2 is legitimate. I think that's going to be back down to normal. You would think that we would see an increase based on the fact that you were maintaining your weight before that. But that's why adaptive thermogenesis exists, because it works. It sucks on the way down, but it can work in your favor on the way up if you do it correctly.
Yeah.
But this is exactly, I want to point something out. This is exactly why people say, well, I reverse dieted really slow. Should I take my calories back down that way?
Yeah,
no, that's a terrible idea, because you're going to have the exact same thing happen in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose very much weight as you slowly drop your calories, because it's not a big of enough, for lack of a better term, shock to the body for you to, it's not big enough to make up the gap that adaptive thermogenesis can occupy, okay? So when you're coming down, you do want a decent drop so that it's not just accounted for by adaptive thermogenesis.
Exactly. Cool, guys. Well, that's this week's plan. I think I will probably be a little bit more meticulous with hitting targets this week, because we don't have anything super crazy planned, and it'll probably help to just let my weight settle back down to what it really is. And we'll have a full week of training this week. I've got a new training program, so I'm super excited to get started into that. I'm down to like doubles this week for all my big lifts. I'm getting closer and closer to meet day, so the rep range is coming down. So yeah, also you'll probably get to see some of my training later in the week if we film. So yeah, that's exciting. All right. Thanks very much for watching, guys. If you're not subscribed to Lane's YouTube, go over to his channel. Obviously, If you're not subscribed to mine, please do. We appreciate your support. Yeah, have a wonderful day. See you guys.